My name is Michael Muhammad, and I'm the investigative officer for the Granville County NAACP. I guess you're wondering, why is the Granville County NAACP involved in Person County issues? I think, let me explain how this came about. I live in Oxford, and there were two young women that reported the issues to me about Shayla. One of the sisters was from Henderson, the other one was from Durham. They spoke about Shayla being violated by the Roxboro police here in Roxboro. Shayla is from Roxboro. Because of the encounter that was so deeply entrenched, I immediately contacted the president of the Granville County NAACP, and as well as informed the president of the Person County chapter of the NAACP as well. You see, we all agree on an ideology, and we agree on this philosophy of Dr. King saying. Dr. King said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So in other words, we don't have any problems with crossing these lines. Those county lines is insignificant to us. We are about justice. Shayla, along with other members of the Person County community, we attended the city council meeting to express our concerns about what had happened. Shayla expressed deeply about the things that the officers had done to her within our own home on January 6th. But apparently it fell on deaf ears. It was only after I had written to the council as a follow-up that the mayor responded back and said they had launched an internal investigation. Of course, we never seen any results of that internal investigation. We've also met with the city manager, and we've also attempted to meet with the chief of police concerning this matter. The city manager showed no compassion. In fact, he was more devoted to order than to justice. He seemed to be annoyed with our presence. The police chief flat out rejected or refused to meet us altogether. He was citing because of some of our members within the Roxboro community that he had a problem with, and that's the reason why he couldn't meet with us. However, it ain't hard to see that these rogue officers have run amok. They are following this as their superiors are laying out for them. So it's really a systemic problem that we have within the police department here in the city of Roxboro. So before I yield to Attorney Shule, who is Shayla's legal representative, I wanted to expound on the matter a little bit. A search warrant that allows an officer to force his way into someone's residence by simply knocking and announcing they call it a no-knock warrant. It is police tactics that is justified in the state of North Carolina under those conditions where must be surveillance, there must be some form of investigation that's taking place, there must be reasonable suspicion along with proper cause that all are established that illegal activities are taking place within the home. Usually there are activities such as manufacturing and distributing illegal substances, but I can assure you this is not the case regarding Shayla. It's nowhere near those circumstances. I want to make it perfectly clear that a no-knock search warrant was not justified in this case involving Shayla Tapp. And the only reasons why these officers went to Shayla's house from the very beginning is because to make an inquiry about a dog which they had no legal authority to do. And then they took the dog from her. That was their first mistake. Therefore, everything that would spring forward from that point would be illegal as well. So without any further delay, I would like to introduce to you Attorney Abram Shule. Thank you, Mr. Shule.
Thank you to everyone for being here today. Thank you to Mr. Muhammad, to Ms. Tapp, of course, and to everybody else with us, all the members of the NAACP and everyone else who's here. This incident never should have occurred. We should not be here. The Roxboro Police Department never should have shown up to Ms. Tapp's home. What we know is that Detective Cox, on his own regard, without a 911 call, without a police report, without reporting anything to the station, went to her house to allegedly get a dog. And he claimed that Shayla had stolen a dog. Now, whether or not he did this as a favor for a friend, or we cannot be sure, it was wrong. He did not have authority to do it, and he should not have been there. Second, he compounded the problem when, after Shayla had the dignity to stand up for herself and tell him that what he was doing was wrong, he claimed that he smelled marijuana and went back to the police station to get a search warrant, to get his colleagues to get a SWAT-style raid of her home. Now, by a SWAT-style raid, I mean police officers armed with assault rifles, armed with weapons, with body armor, to knock down her door with a battering ram. We are not at war on the streets of Roxboro over the smell of marijuana. This is not something that should be happening to anyone's home. And so what happens after that? The police come, 7 or 8, 9, 10 of them. They come with a battering ram, they come with guns, they come with body armor, and they bang down her door as she is in the shower. They order her on the ground naked, and they hold her while they search her home. So, as a community, what you all need to ask yourselves, what the city council needs to ask itself, what the chief of police and the police department needs to ask itself, is if this is the type of activity you want. Do you want your taxpayer money going towards this? Do you want your elected officials supporting this? And the answer, hopefully, is no. And so the city council and the police have the power to help make this right and to help make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. Thank you, everybody, and now you'll hear from Ms. Tapp.
First, I would like to start off by saying this situation has changed me. I cannot trust the police. I do not sleep at night. I am terribly afraid. I would not want this to happen to anybody. Nobody, not my worst enemy. I didn't deserve this. I really didn't. The feeling is bad. You know, I can't sleep at night. I'm just not comfortable at home anymore. If I'm in the shower, I hear any type of noise, my legs shake, my hands shake. I just want to be myself again. I feel like everything was taken from me, and on this day, my life changed. And I just wish that this never happens to anybody else ever again. I hope that this may cause some change here in Person County. Thank everybody.
Good job, Shayla. If anybody has any questions, we'll answer a couple.
Are you all going to be filing a lawsuit against the city?
That depends on what the city's response is and if we're able to work with them before that.
When you went to the city council on 4 days after it happened in January, you said that you could hear them knocking on the door while you were in the shower.
Yes.
And now you're saying there was no knock. Was it?
They was at my front door at first knocking. While I was in the shower, I was hollering, I'm in the shower. As I got out of my shower, I opened my bathroom door. When I opened my bathroom door, that's when they used the ram to bust down my back door. My front door was open.
But did they knock?
I was in the shower.
And I can help answer this too. So what police often do now to get around the no-knock requirement is they knock and then they immediately enter. So another way to call it is a quick knock, right? But for all intents and purposes, it is a no-knock or a way to get around the no-knock requirement, because what you're doing is knocking and then immediately entering. And so it doesn't actually give a person the opportunity to come to the door, to answer the door, and to prevent their door from being knocked down, right? And so, you know, the whole reason why we have this knock requirement is to prevent violence to the homeowner, but also to prevent violence to the police officer. Because we all know that there are lots and lots of cases where officers have knocked down someone's door and the officer has been shot or the person inside has been shot. And so that is why we are asking that this be reserved for the worst type of violent offender, that it should not be used in a misdemeanor marijuana case. So the short answer is yes, they did knock, but then they immediately entered.
How much did the damage to your home cost, and has that been replaced something?
No, nothing has been replaced. The door, everything is still the same way. So I've had to sleep in my home without my doors being on the hinges ever since they did this to me.
I'm not an attorney, but is part of the argument here that with the dog situation spilling over into the search warrant, that warrant is for the poison free and should not have ever been signed?
Sure, yeah. I think that there's an argument that, you know, it was illegal from the very beginning, that officer should not have been at her home. I also think that there's a serious question as to whether that officer actually smelled marijuana. You know, this was in the morning. You know, so it appears that what this officer did may have been retaliatory because Shayla was unhappy with him taking her pet dog. Thank you all. All right, guys.
Good job, man.
Thanks for being here. You want to go get the dog maybe now?
Let's go.
All right, guys.
I want to thank the brothers and sister for coming around. Brother Maurice with the Black Panther Party, thank you very much. Reverend McShaw,
Yes, sir.
I thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Scotty Brooks, I appreciate you, sir. Dwayne Coleman, he's the Vice President of NAACP in Granville County, Mr. Bobak Carr as well. Reverend Winstead, President of the Person County NAACP, thank you for being here, Reverend. Appreciate you. Brother John, Black Panther Party, thank you, sir. Brother John Miles out of Henderson, we have a coalition of brothers and sisters that we pull together to address these issues across these lines. And thank you very much for press for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.